Hi friends, welcome to Tutorials Point. In this video, we are going to understand logistics management, under that environment management. Under this particular heading, we are going to cover topics like understanding storage requirements, temperature control, humidity control, dust level control, lighting condition optimization, and then the last one, safety precautionary measures. With respect to the understanding storage requirements, we need to be very clear when we are discussing with our customer and other related stakeholders. There will be application sensitive conditions that will be coming. Lessons learned from various previous projects we need to consider so that we can proactively plan. We need to consider all these lessons learned for proactive planning, and also there can be new preventive measures that can be applied in the storage conditions. Government actually decides statutory and regulatory compliances conditions. This we need to take care when we are planning for storage conditions, and especially when we are planning for the storage conditions environment. In temperature control, we know that there are certain items that will be very sensitive to the temperature. Like when we talk about certain food items or certain other edible items like fish and other things needs to be stored at a very low temperature, because if we are not going to do that, then these things may get spoiled. So it will be not suitable for any of its purposes. So like that, there are certain other conditions which needs to be taken care for certain items. Like some items may require high temperature storage, certain items may require low temperature storage. So understanding the requirement, these things needs to be planned. With respect to humidity, also the similar kind of conditions applies. If we take an example of ferrous items, they are very highly sensitive for the high humidity. That is the reason why if there are a lot of ferrous items that are going to be shipped on the sea, so there will be very high chances of it getting corroded. So packaging and other travel conditions and other storage conditions for these highly corrosion sensitive materials needs to be taken care from humidity point of view. Not only the ferrous, there can be other electronic applications where this relative humidity control in the environment storage of these materials plays a very important role. When we talk about dust control, we need to be very clear what is the optimum level of dust that is allowed for our particular product and application. We should not make it too much more or too much less, because if we make very less dust control, then the complete system what we are going to develop and invest is going to be a very less profitable situation at the end of the day. So what is really required for our application and our products, processes and systems, we need to define that at an optimum level, and then we need to manage this particular dust conditions. And then we talk about the lighting conditions. In these lighting conditions, we need to be again very clear. It should not be too much bright so that too much brightness creates a lot of stress and strain for the human eyes. So the normal person who works in a normal day looking at a very high light will be having a lot of more strain on his eye, and it needs to be replaced, or it needs to be having a proper maintenance level at a later point of time. At the same time, we cannot even also have very less light, because the identification and traceability of these materials which are going to be stored in logistics can be very difficult to trace. So a right balance in the lighting conditions is required. When we talk about safety precautionary measures, these things plays a very important role, because we never know when the accidents do happen, because there are certain items in our logistics where we are going to store which will be very highly sensitive to the little bit of variation in the external environment also. If we take an example of acid itself, a little bit of high temperature can cause a fire. And because of that, there can be a lot of loss where it will be extremely difficult for any businesses to absorb. So all these personal protective equipments needs to be taken care based on the MSDS that is given for that particular materials. Then we talk about the safety feasibility. In safety feasibility, ergonomics will come and also equipment design will come. So if both are matching and if both are balancing, then we are going to be having a safety feasibility. So in ergonomics means to say how many ever times this human being does this particular operation, he should not feel fatigue. And when we talk about the equipment design, all these things needs to be incorporated in the equipment itself, so that at a later point of time, too much of modification or alteration can be avoided. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much.
Tutorialspoint.com. Simply easy learning.